Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer. I'm a Christian investor, business owner, and I also have a PhD in biblical studies. Along with that, I also have investment management qualifications, and I believe this is the only investing for beginners video you will need to watch. In fact, we're going to do it in two parts. So the first part is all about teaching you the basics of the stock market so that you know exactly what you're doing and you understand some of the terms and concepts. The second part, which I'm going to recommend you watch after this, is all to actually find out where's the best place for you to invest and how do you actually pick what to invest in. It's going to be a great time together and I hope you enjoy. So you might have heard it recommended to you to invest in the stock market to grow your money long term, and it also being a great way to make passive income. So all those things are actually true, but what if you're brand new and you have no clue what all the terms actually mean? Well, first thing, do not invest in anything that you do not fully understand what it's investing in and also how you're investing. And that's what we're going to break down in this video. Some of the terms that you will hear and you need to know exactly what they are. So the first thing, let's break down the building blocks of the stock market. So the stock market is a way for you to invest in other companies globally. So let's talk about the basic concepts. You will hear the terms stock, commodity, bond, index fund and tracker, or mutual fund. Let's cover stocks first. Well, stocks is the most widely used term, and these are high risk investments. Now, before we start, anytime you're giving a company money, there is a risk involved. Nothing is risk free, and so you're giving them your money, you're buying a part of that investment in that company because you believe long term it's going to do good in the world and also going to grow. If you're not prepared to also potentially lose that money, then do not invest. And before we start, remember everything I explain is for your educational purpose only. This is not advice about what you should pick. And if you're in any doubt, please find a financial advisor in your area or continue to do your research. So a stock is where you're giving your money for a little piece of a company. You're becoming an owner in that company. Now, it could be that you decide to buy a stock in Amazon or Apple, whatever your favorite companies are that you believe are going to do good in the world. You give a value for that stock on that day and you buy a part of it. Now, often we can break this down further. Some individual companies will give you what's called a dividend. A dividend is where you actually get a part of the profit every month or every quarter, every year that company has made as a thank you for being a stockholder. You will also get the chance usually to actually have your say in board decisions if you want a certain strategy, a certain person. Now, these are high risk. Why are they high risk? Because you're investing in only one company. That is really risky unless you're absolutely sure that that company is going to make money long term and you know they're doing good in the world. I like to think of it in football terms, one of my favourite sports to watch. It's kind of like buying a season ticket for your favourite team. You are saying for that whole season that you own that ticket, you believe they're going to do great things. We all hope that they're going to win the next championship, don't we? And so the moment then you cash out of that stock, you're no longer that season ticket holder. You're no longer supporting what they were doing. And with a stock, there's only 2 days that really matter. The day that you buy, the price you pay, and the day that you sell. Everything else does not matter because it's only relative to the value that you actually bought for it. The next concept is commodities. Commodities are the fundamental building blocks of how we create anything. So companies need raw materials to create their products. A commodity is that. A commodity is things like soya, gold, silver, the basic raw materials that any company can use to create their products. Now, commodities are particularly interesting to invest in because a lot of people see it as they hold their value quite a long time. They're called medium risk for that reason. They don't tend to fluctuate based on what certain companies are doing in the world. Now, we can think about commodities like football terms as well. It's like owning the football or the strip that they're wearing or even the pitch that they're playing on. You have bought into the ingredients of what actually allows most companies to function. The next term you'll hear is called a bond. Now, a bond is a medium risk strategy as well, and a bond is actually owning part of a loan with the government. You lend the amount of money that you invest to the government or that company for a certain amount of time, and during that time you then will receive what's called a coupon, which is a payment like a dividend. Then when the time is up of giving over that bond, you will get the value that you paid in again. Now, a lot of people enjoy bonds because you know exactly what you're going to get. You know the payouts, the rate of return on your investment, and you also know you're going to get your value at the end of it again. The next term is index funds and trackers. Now, these are particularly good if you're a beginner to the stock market. It's actually buying with your investment a league table effectively. So it's kind of like if you decided in football to buy a piece of every single football team in the Premiership. You do that with one investment and you've got everyone. And it can change every quarter or every year depending on what index fund you choose. Now, a lot of people have heard of the terms like S&P 500, FTSE 100. These are the main ones you hear because they're the general ones a lot of people buy. The S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in the US. The FTSE 100 is the top companies in the UK. And that league table gets updated every quarter usually. So if a company's not performing, it's moved out and replaced. And that's why it tends to be what we call medium risk. You really aren't having to pick the companies to back. That index fund and tracker is doing it all for you. And these are usually passively managed. So that means there's not even a fund manager doing the selection for you, and they're very low cost. Now, with index fund and trackers, the choice is endless to what you can actually invest in with these as well, making it a great option if you're particularly concerned about investing in certain industries or topics or part of the world. You can even find cryptocurrency trackers at the moment. So really, whatever you want to invest in, I guarantee there's some form of tracker out there that suits almost your requirement. Now, away from that slightly is what we call mutual funds. Mutual funds are actually funds that are managed by an investment manager. So these tend to have high fees attached because it's actually a physical person managing and selecting it, what goes in there. And also they are not the league tables. It's based on somebody's opinion. So when you're buying into a mutual fund, you really have to be sure, are these the companies that I want to invest in? Am I happy with the additional charges that are involved? And is it something long term I really believe is going to grow in value? A lot of beginners tend to avoid mutual funds because it requires just a little bit more knowledge of what's actually involved in the stocks you're investing in and who's also managing your fund for you. Now, the final term you might hear is what's called physical assets. And these are simply gold, silver, and those type of things physically that you can own. So not on the stock market necessarily, but actually can you own these products in your house? And you can buy gold and silver and all types of metals. A lot of people enjoy having the physical assets because, again, they can then sell them at a later date and they don't tend to fluctuate the way the stock market does. So now that we know what we want to invest in, where do we put this? Well, what you need to decide is what type of investment wrapper do you want? It's a fancy way of saying where are you going to store your investments? And there's different methods, different accounts that allow you to do that. And you need to know which account is right for you. So the three main wrappers are investment ISAs, we also have pensions, and then we have a general investment account. Now there are other types such as lifetime ISAs and things like that, but I'm going to stick with these three as your main choices. So let's go for one that you've probably heard of, and that's a pension. So when you have a pension, you are an investor. A lot of people will say, well, I'm not an investor. Yes, you are. If you want a state pension in the UK, you are an investor. You are investing in the stock market without you realising it. And a pension is a way for you to put money into a wrapper tax-free during your working career, that when you're 65 or the age of pension drawing age, you can then start to withdraw those investments as income. Now that is the caveat of a pension. The pension money is locked away for access until you're at pension age. So for a lot of people, companies will give you incentives to put money in your pension, which is great. It's free money and allowing your investments to grow, but you are locking out your money until you can get to pension age or for particular situations to happen. A lot of pension companies as well will have limited choices about what investments you can have, so please be sure to investigate what are you actually investing in and are you actually happy with the company you're investing in with your pension. If you want to know some of the products that I would recommend and I use in my own life, I'll leave a link in the description to the products that I in particular enjoy using for these type of wrappers. The most popular type of wrapper though is the investment ISA. Now in the UK at the moment when I'm making this video, you can get up to £20,000 tax-free invested in an investment ISA per person. That's right, tax-free on the way in and the way out. Now, obviously, what happens is you're putting your take-home pay in there, okay? Your pension is going pre-tax. Your post-tax is an investment ISAs or general investing accounts. That means you paid tax on the money, so it's your money anyway. But you will not need to pay tax on any dividends, any capital gains within that wrapper. So it's amazing. It allows you to build investment wealth without having to be double taxed. Now, if you don't get close to that 20,000 a year, do not worry, but it resets every year, so you cannot take it over for the next year. The final option that most people go for is called a general investing account. Now, this you have to pay capital gains tax and dividend tax on if you're in the UK. So any money you make as profit when you sell your investments or you receive as dividends every quarter or every month, you do need to keep a self-assessment tax record. You need to pay your right tax because it's very important to do that. And that's on you. You have to make sure you record that and submit that every year. Before we carry on, I would say please never invest in anything that you do not understand fully. There is lots of choices out there. There's also a lot of advice out there that might not be in your best interest. They might be wanting you to invest in things that long term will not actually make much money. So when you are investing, make sure you're comfortable with everything you're investing in. Don't just take someone's advice. It's your money. You are responsible ultimately for it. So do your research and make sure you want to invest in that index fund tracker or that company. Now with investments, I would absolutely make it clear that there's a lot of scam websites and information out there. If you're unsure and get a bad feeling about anything in any way, have a look and see what the forums are saying about the website. If there's any Reddit reviews, tends to be when there's bad experiences or scams happening, a lot of good people will write about them online and let you know. But you can also report anything that it has been a scam to you to Crime Stoppers. You can also use certain agencies to claim back any money from scams within reason. So now that we understand the basics of the stock market, let's actually decide what we're going to invest in. So head over to part 2 of this video to check out that information. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, I hope this has been useful for you. Please give it a like and subscribe for more content to help you with your money, your businesses, and also to give you the best wisdom for your future ahead. Thank you so much for watching. I'll speak to you very soon.